Hey everybody, my name is Good and welcome back from the video of Lost Judgment. We're going to continue this series. In the last video we did a lot of filler stuff with the MRC. We're back with a brand new club now, so we are an advisor of a brand new club, which is a lot tougher than the previous one. Dance moves sounded like fun stuff now that I have to contend with robots, boys. Robots are not really my thing, but we'll see how it goes, I guess, in the long run. Maybe I'll come back to it and try and complete it, but it's going to be a tough one, that's for sure. In the meantime, I did find out why it wasn't advancing. The time wasn't advancing or anything. It's not because I was in school. It's actually just because I have to go to Kamurocho. So I actually have to take a taxi to Kamurocho, boys, and head back to the city. This is what they were the mission talks about, or is trying to tell me, is I needed to go back to the actual city. So there we go.
Hey,
We're back, and now the main story is actually gonna come back finally.
Sensei and the others just got to Charles. They're getting ready to grill Mamiya-san.
Got it. Then I'll head back soon.
Thanks.
All right. So as soon as I get back to Charles, Yui Mamiya is going to answer every single one of our my questions. Okay. So all we have to do is travel to Kamurocho. And now I'm guessing I gotta travel back, or is Charles here? Oh, he's actually in the city itself. Okay, got you. So we gotta go over there. I'm gonna take a taxi there though, because it's much faster to do that. So let me take a taxi. It's gonna take 2 seconds, and we're gonna be able to head over there. Man, I swear, I waited so long. I did a lot of, like, it's basically was 2 whole videos of me doing side quests, thinking that I had to do them in order to kill some time. Turns out all I had to do was to do travel to a different city, boys. Unbelievable. If they were a little bit more clear about it, it would have helped me out.
You too, Genda-sensei?
What? Am I in the way?
Of course not. I didn't know you still did field work.
I figured if they could pull a fast one on Sauri-kun, I'd at least want to look him in the eye.
Why are all these people here? What gives?
We've been waiting for you, Yagami-san. Mamiya-san is about to enlighten us on the truth behind the groping.
Good.
Oh, and I heard about Sawa-sensei. I'm so sorry.
Our condolences.
Looks like she got mixed up in all this when RK was chasing after Kuwana. But we're still not sure why they chased him. To figure that out, we'll have to retrace Kuwana's steps.
Exactly.
That said, let's start with the harassment charges, Mamiya-san.
Looks like she's gonna be ready to talk to us, boys. Let's see what she's gonna tell us. We bring the whole crew of lawyers in there to listen to us. This is this one guy in the corner though, doing nothing but standing there and watching us.
Let's get this over with.
Pout all you want, but keep the answers straight. Got it?
Ehara's assault was designed to establish a false alibi for Mikoshiba's murder. So Kuwana had you play the victim, and together you pulled one over on the police and the court.
Can you confirm if this is all accurate so far, please?
Yeah.
The person who groped you on the train wasn't Ehara-san himself. It was his stand-in. And my understanding is that he had conspirators to help him fabricate this event?
That's right.
What was Kuwana doing at the time? Was he in Ijinsho or Tokyo?
Didn't you hear your lady friend? Ehara-san had a stand-in. And that stand-in was our sensei.
You mean Kuwana posed as Ehara himself? So this Ehara was actually Kuwana. Huh.
Sensei and Ehara-san have a pretty similar build. Not sure they could have pulled it off otherwise, you know?
But some spots don't look right, like his mouth. You sure that's really Kuwana-san?
That part around his mouth is fake. He said he scanned Ehara-san's face and made it on a 3D printer.
Oh, huh. You can print things in 3D now?
Well, it's a machine that takes a model's data from a computer and prints physical objects using materials like resin. So if you were to scan a person's face onto a computer, a 3D printer could accurately recreate it.
I don't know the details, but that's what Sensei used to become Ehara-san.
Something like this. See, with a 3D printer, a piece of a face is pretty easy to make.
What the hell?
I see. His eyes are hidden behind the sunglasses, and the seams on his jaw are obscured by the mask.
It's incredible, I must say. With the mouth area so visible, it's too convincing to think he's anybody else. And with the prosecution assuming he's just another sexual predator, they fell for it.
This is no time to be impressed. In case you forgot, he had the defense fooled too.
Right.
Assuming Kuwana was Ehara's double, there's still some evidence I'm iffy about.
I'm of the same opinion.
Okay. Which evidence is questionable?
Time to pull back the curtain on this case. Any evidence I'm unsure of, I need to press Mamiya on it right now. So what am I unsure of? I'm not quite sure. I mean, she did tell me it was a stand-in. What about the footage? Yeah, I'm still unsure about the whole footage situation though. And that is one thing I'm very much unsure of. Even though it doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about, I feel like I'm very much unsure of that.
Stop it.
You're gonna look away? You aided and abetted by playing the victim, didn't you?
I mean, yes.
Who put this video up on the internet?
Yeah, I need to know that, that's for sure.
He said from the start that once Ehara-san got his guilty verdict, he'd upload it to the internet.
So that was all part of the plan.
Yeah. Sensei can't forgive the law for how easy it lets off bullies. Ehara-san's the same way. His son's death was brushed aside. The court blamed his suicide on unknown factors. And that's what led them to his whole plan. The real victim is some bully who never got what he deserved, and the killer gets off in court by being convicted of battery. How would the public respond after finding out they'd gamed the law like that?
So Kuwana and Ehara's real plan was to make a mockery out of the justice system.
Seems to be going well for them. The courts are beside themselves for dragging the police into this.
I guess Ehara really was desperate. He was never concerned about his own punishment. He tarnished his own name to humiliate the law.
Yeah, cop or not, Ehara is a broken man. Nobody took responsibility for his son's death, and the courts all but ignored his case. No wonder he went along with Kuwana.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Sensei and Ehara-san are the perfect pair with nothing to lose. The only ones who do are the ones forced to comply. Us. Speaking of which, are we done here yet?
I'd better pressure Mamiya on this. It's time to pull back the curtain on this groping case. So it's not that, I guess. What are we looking for then? I guess that was totally horrible. Okay. I'm missing out on something here. I don't know, like, we're going down the memory lane. Can they not just choose it for me? Because at this point, I literally don't know what to choose. Like, I basically chose everything. Like, what the hell am I supposed to do here? The transit?
How about
And this...
before the incident, Ehara used this card to go through the ticket gate at Ikebukuro, the time of which was recorded.
Right, and it was on October 7th at 7:43 a.m.
Thanks, Hoshino-kun.
Happy to help, Yagami-san.
At the earliest, Mikoshiba's time of death would have been 7:30 a.m. If Ehara killed Mikoshiba in Nijinsho, he would have only had 13 minutes to get to Ikebukuro. And frankly, that's impossible.
That's what's dumping you?
Huh?
Sensei borrowed the card from Ehara-san beforehand and passed through the gate. Afterward, he slipped it back to Ehara-san when they switched places. That way, Ehara-san ended up having the time-stamped card on him. Makes sense now.
So even the entry time through the ticket gate was used as part of the alibi?
It all seems so obvious now that I hear it. Nobody'd suspect that a groping was being used as an alibi for murder.
Yeah. And on top of all that, no one knew Mikoshiba had been killed during the trial. They really pulled it off.
Anything else?
Yagami-san, you sure that's enough?
Yeah, I think we've got plenty. Bottom line, groping was a fabrication.
Yeah, I think we got enough.
At the
I mean,
very
there's
least,
nothing
we know
else
that
to
the
refute
prosecution's
about
evidence
that.
can all be refuted.
It's a
The
stand-in.
courts were being
There
intentional.
was no actual
I'm
groping,
considering
so
filing an appeal.
that's all at the
Are you saying
corner.
you
Now
want
that
a
we
retrial?
got that,
I
we gotta
am.
just find
Reveal Ehara and
Kuwana.
Kuwana's plot and overturn the verdict they issued.
That might be harder than it sounds.
Why do you say that, Genda-sensei?
Well, the previous trial resulted in Ehara being found guilty, right? As the client, if he doesn't want an appeal, there's no way you're getting one. Doesn't matter what any lawyer tries to do. If Ehara refuses to appeal, then that's that.
Then we'll talk to him tomorrow. First, we need to see how he reacts to everything we've got on him.
Sounds good. Then let's meet at the detention center tomorrow.
Will do.
So, we done for the night?
Sure are. Great job, everyone. Go get some rest.
Yo, Yagami. You sure it was cool to let that Mamiya chick just go home?
Yeah? Why?
I mean, she helped Kuwana kill all those people. Aren't you gonna turn her in or something?
I would. There's nothing we can do.
The fuck do you mean there's nothing we can do?
Nothing we can do?
What?
Frankly, we don't have any proof of the murder she was talking about.
What, so this is all for nothing?
Nothing directly pointing to Mamiya, anyway. Aside from Mikoshiba, no other bodies turned up. Which means all we can do is take her home, right? Sugiura is making sure she gets back safe.
Fine, forget it. Why are you still here? Everyone else went home already.
Come on, man, why the cold shoulder? Am I really that annoying?
You wouldn't be the guy I'd call to hang out with. So if you're done, then go.
Wow. Straight for the jugular, huh?
But if it's help you need, I'll be there. I've had nothing but time lately. But only if you bow your head and ask nice. Then I'll consider it.
I know for a fact you'd help me out regardless, so why waste a good bow? Thanks for the drink.
Dude, come on. That was your cue to bow and ask nice.
Alrighty then, so gonna go with Sayori to interview Ehara tomorrow. Time to call it a day. Alright, so we're going off to the detective agency, of course. We're gonna sleep it off, boys. So guess I gotta take the taxi here because I can't take a taxi directly to our place. So we're gonna head out towards our main building. Marathon man. Alright, so we just got some stuff, so keep running and everything. So yeah, basically we're doing all right with the whole thing. Mamiya, I mean, we know now it's a stand-in and everything. Problem is, how much is that really gonna help us out? And the fact that we just let her go, that's not a good thing. I don't know why we're letting her go. We should literally keep her around until anything, like just to prevent anything worse from happening. She's an accomplice. We can't let her go. Alright, so we just slept it off, I guess. We're gonna go for the interview, so I guess I can take the taxi and go directly for the interview. Let's do it. Ehara, you better start talking, or you better agree with us for once. You gotta do the appeal.
I have that right? Did some new evidence come to light?
Yui Mamiya told us some things, like how you faked your alibi for Mikoshiba's murder. You wanted the sexual battery conviction, right?
Well,
your goal was to avenge your son and humiliate the law on a grand scale.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Ehara-san, we have a much better grasp of the situation than you think.
And what exactly have you grasped?
Like Yagami-san just said, you're innocent. As far as the harassment goes. As your lawyer, I'll file for an appeal. And we'll make sure the world knows it.
Thanks, but no. I'm scum of the earth. A pervert. The prosecution and the judge made that very clear in the verdict.
On the day of the crime, October 7th, at around 6:30 a.m., you were in Ijincho, not Tokyo.
Baloney. I was relaxing at home.
Except that you weren't.
Oh?
You wanted to give the man who pushed your son to suicide the beating of a lifetime. And you'd miss out on that opportunity if you were at home, which is why you were in Ijincho instead. Isn't that right? You and Kuwana's former student staked out Mikoshiba's house until he left. Then you dragged your prey into a car and brought him to an abandoned building in Ijincho, which would later become a murder scene. Every bone on Mikoshiba's fingers was broken. Remembering how he pushed Toshiro-kun to his death, it's no wonder you'd go that far. You tortured Mikoshiba without a shred of remorse. You inflicted no small amount of pain and terror. There's no way you weren't there, and I'd put my money on that.
And then...
You need the whole play-by-play? Even though you already know it?
Oh, not at all. I'm just fascinated by this outrageous little story.
I'll use a piece of evidence to show what he did next. What he did next, obviously, is that. It's pretty obvious, isn't it?
As for what you did
Everybody
next,
saw it.
Mikoshiba.
It's quite a home video.
Without leaving anything on Mikoshiba's body that could be traced back to you, you slit his throat. Estimated time of death was around 7:30 a.m. on October 7th. You tossed the bloody coat and made your way to Ikebukuro Station, where Yui Mamiya was waiting.
Are you sure? I was at Ikebukuro by 7:30 a.m. Would have been impossible for me to kill Mikoshiba in Ijincho.
That's not true.
The person in the security camera footage in Ikebukuro was a double who imitated your likeness. The identity of whom belonged to Jin Kuwana, the handyman in Ijincho. Or maybe you know him by a different name. Former high school teacher Yu Kitakata. So which name did he give you?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Are you sure you don't know?
View of the security
Stop playing a fool with
you
me,
met
man.
up with Yui Mamiya at Ikebukuro first. That's where you touched the undergarments she had prepared. The police would later discover the trace evidence on your hands and pin the groping on you. Then you made your way to Shinjuku Station. After that, Mamiya and Kuwana acted out the groping as they arrived at Shinjuku Station. Kuwana jumped out of the train and Mamiya chased after him. And then, in the smallest of blind spots in a station absolutely packed with cameras, you were waiting for Kuwana, who looked just like you. With the two of you matching, you were able to swap places in that huge crowd without anyone noticing. Kuwana handed you the transit card used to pass the ticket gate. Just one piece of hard evidence that places you in Ikebukuro at 7:43 a.m. And right after the swap, Mamiya started calling for help. After that, well, we've all seen how the news reported it. You were caught in a public place with plenty of witnesses.
An active duty police officer arrested for sexual battery. The public outcry was very clear. As a result, despite it being your first offense, you were actually tried and convicted. The consensus is that it was a fitting punishment for someone so heinous. Even as your lawyer, I felt the same.
Have some confidence in yourself, Shirosaki-sensei. The prosecution, the judge, and a lawyer like you all laid out the evidence in court and found me guilty. I'm in no position to doubt you. And I've long accepted the ruling that Toshiro was never bullied. There's nothing I can do but abide by the rule of law. Right? That's all I can do, right?
I know what you're trying to say. You carried out the justice that the courts wouldn't, right?
Everything my son went through was passed off like it never even happened. School, the teachers, and yes, the court. They all dismissed the reason he died.
That's when Kuwana came in the picture, telling you Toshiro-kun had been bullied. But was it Kuwana's words that suddenly made you want to kill Mikoshiba? Because all of his fingers were broken while he was still alive. Was that really all just your pent-up rage?
What do you have to say, Ehara-san?
There shouldn't have been any evidence of Mikoshiba's bullying. Who told Ehara the truth? Exactly. It's gotta be. So did your son tell you he was bullied? Did Kuwana tell you about the bullying? Did Sawa sensei tell you what happened? Did you discover the bullying online? Did Sawa... That's like a complete turnover. Let me see. Maybe Sawa's got something to do with this. Maybe she did.
Was Sawa-sensei the one who told you the truth? She was the only person Toshiro-kun confided in. You had to have heard it from her, right?
Nearly hit the nail on the head, as they say.
Nearly?
After my trial, she confessed she knew about the bullying. But only to her old teacher over the phone. She had no idea she was being recorded.
What?
Kuwana-san let me listen to that recording where I learned Sawa-sensei had been muzzled by both the homeroom teacher and the lawyer. That was the proof of Toshiro's bullying I'd wanted all throughout the trial. After hearing Sawa-sensei's words, I finally understood. They pushed my boy over the edge.
Was there no other evidence of the bullying? Like a diary of Toshiro-kun's or something of the sort?
Nothing. Toshiro never talked to me or my wife about the bullying. And that was probably all my fault. He was bullied in middle school, too. Kids would throw his pencil case around or hide his books. When I heard about it, I chewed him out. They walk all over you because you're weak. Grow spine, I told him.
I take it that was the wrong approach.
Yeah. I can't imagine how much courage it took for him to come forward about his suffering. I'm sure he felt ashamed about it. And I should have listened when he pleaded for help. I should have told him I was proud of his bravery. But instead, I pushed him away. And in the end, Toshiro tried to make sure he never showed weakness to us again, no matter how much pain he was in. He went to a private school out in Yokohama because he hated living with me. But in the end, he still suffered.
And that's why you didn't hesitate to unleash hell on Mikoshiba.
If you say so.
You still want to admit the murdering, though. Must be killing him not
so the
to.
first time Kuwana showed up.
Yeah,
is
we're
when he
on
let
the
you listen to
edge
the
of
phone
pushing
call
him.
with
We
Sawa
gotta
sensei,
be able
right?
to push him somehow.
Yes. He approached me and asked me if I still wanted justice for my son. I was in uniform when he came to me too. Very bold. But it paid off. I owe him a debt of gratitude. He reassured me he had already taken care of multiple individuals like Goshiba, and that he'd urged other families to avenge the children they lost to bullying. He'd tell them that simply being branded a bully wasn't enough. He promised to deliver real justice.
If justice can be served at one's own discretion, laws would cease to serve their function. If the law isn't fair to everyone, no one will obey it. The law is only able to help the powerless because it can't be swayed by money, force, or anything else.
Exactly.
Tell
Law
me,
is law.
what's
You
the
can't have
solution
your
when the
own,
law fails
like
to
you
punish
can't make your
someone
own
who
laws.
laughs in its face? To overlook those the law won't judge is to abandon those the law couldn't protect.
To render justice with confidence, you require sufficient evidence.
Some of the victims' families refused Kuwana's offer of revenge, telling him it would be unforgivable. But even after rejecting his offer. Not a one reported Kuwana-san to the police. Do you understand what that implies? Whether you follow through with revenge or not, Kuwana-san presents a solution that resonates with people. Being that the law is unfair and imperfect. Am I wrong about that?
Yes, you're wrong.
No, you're not.
No,
We're
you
fighting to
are
make it
wrong.
As fair as we can.
You gotta
Laws
follow
have
the
to
law,
change until
no
they are
matter
perfect.
what. You are wrong.
Change fast enough. Toshiro's death was murder by another name. Yet Hiromi Kushiba walked free. He even got to enroll in a teaching program as a student teacher. Someone like him? It's insane! I'd die of old age before the law was ever written to be fair enough. For Toshiro's sake, I can't turn a blind eye to a world where the Mikoshibas can live without consequence. Tell me, what alternative was there to getting blood on my hands? I didn't have any other choice.
Yagami-san, did he just...
He did confess.
This is the first time you've admitted to killing Mikoshiba.
Yep, you just confessed to us, my guy. Thank you for that.
You really did your
Just giving us a
research,
confession.
unlike those useless cops. Kuwana-san's plan was impressive. Almost airtight. I didn't expect it to be unraveled so quickly.
I just got lucky. There was some dirt on Yui Mamiya that Kuwana could have used against her. If we hadn't found it, there's no way we would have gotten her to talk.
What are you talking about?
Sorry, but I'm under no obligation to tell you.
Yeah.
Ehara-san, you'll be sent to prison as a sex offender as it stands.
Of course. Just as I planned. The charges will be confirmed, and I'll be convicted. As for the police and the prosecution, they wouldn't be able to admit they made a mistake. I could scream, "I killed Mikoshiba" at the top of my lungs. It wouldn't matter.
Are you saying you intend to admit to the murder after you're released?
Everyone's seen the video of me killing Mikoshiba by now. It's obviously authentic, but the prosecution and the police are saying it's fake. They need it to be fake. Even if I do confess, they'll sweep it under the rug.
They wouldn't.
No,
I don't
it's not
think they
beneath
would
them.
do that. That
But
would
I
be
take it how they
stupid.
react doesn't really matter to you. All you want is to humiliate the law, don't you? The same system that determined Toshiro-kun's incident didn't happen.
It seems you're starting to understand, Yagami-san.
Ehara's achieved most of what he wanted to do, but I can't overlook what he's already done. He did murder, which is
Prosecution wanted to
definitely
charge
not a
him
no.
for
It's a
Mikoshiba's
no-go.
murder. Then they'd have to
We
retract the battle.
somehow he thinks that the
That would be
judges are gonna
leading to a massive
throw the
blood
murder
of course.
into the ground and not talk about it. That's I doubt that.
Chaos. Despite knowing who murdered Mikoshiba, no one would know what to make of the case. Wouldn't that just be wonderful?
I hear you. And I even get why you'd feel pretty proud of accomplishing that.
Do you?
But in this case, the guys pretty much grabbed the tiger by the tail.
What tiger's tail?
Someone's issuing orders to the thugs in Kamurocho from behind the scenes. He's the tiger in this case. And they've been closing in on your partner, Kuwana.
Exactly.
And Sawa sensei
You've
got
triggered
their path.
somebody.
I'm sure
In
you
theory,
can
that
do
somebody's
something
going
about
after
that.
you next.
You know, don't you?
So it doesn't matter.
Sawa sensei was killed after the thugs broke into her home. All because she got involved with Kuwana.
I'm aware she was killed. But this is the first I'm hearing of the reason why. And by thugs, you mean RK?
Yeah, but we don't know why they're going after Kuwana. Any ideas?
No way I'd know.
You think it could be because she got mixed up in your deadly little game?
Excuse me?
That's what getting away with murder really looks like. The more you perpetuate the lie, the greater the rift you create.
Exactly.
And then, the unthinkable happens.
You're no more than a bully
Kuwana
yourself,
killed
my guy.
others
You
besides
played your
Mikoshi.
own game.
You said so yourself. That's what brought the angry tiger
You got
into
played.
play. And if Sawa-sensei ended up paying for that instead, then how can you begin to believe your vengeance is fair?
Because she gave false testimony. She lied in court to say Toshiro was never bullied.
She couldn't name Mikoshiba, who was a minor at the time, without evidence. What's more, she was haunted by her testimony, always second-guessing if she did the right thing. But now she's been killed. Somehow that's acceptable to you? I'm gonna clear up what happened to Sawa-sensei, just like you did for Toshiro-kun.
How?
By going public with everything you and Kuwana did. The first step is to appeal the sexual battery and undo this whole lie.
You never groped Yui Mamiya. That's one crime you're innocent of, Ehara-san. The court's verdict was incorrect. So please give us the chance to appeal. We can prove your innocence.
What on earth would I get out of that?
You get to humiliate the court again. Besides, what are you gonna do for the next half a year in a cell?
Fine. Do what you want. But just know this.
Yes?
I have no intention of admitting to killing Mikoshiba in court. Is your appeal still worth a damn?
We won't know until we try. Let's go, Sari-san. We have client approval to proceed with the appeal. We better act fast.
Yes, agreed.
Well, we do have an appeal, boys. One thing good is going.
Isn't on me. Even if I have grabbed the tiger by the tail. That doesn't mean I killed her.
By that logic, you may as well admit that Mikoshiba didn't kill Toshiro-kun. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah, it's the same.
Listen
Because
to me.
Toshiro didn't kill your
Everything
son.
about you, about Kuwana,
It's
about
just the
what Sawa
circumstances
Sensei
that
had
they
to
did.
die, we're gonna expose all of it. That's the only thing left we can do for her.
Well, boys, that was definitely one hell of an interview. We do have the appeal, which is good, which means he's going to be innocent. He's going to be out on the streets.
Sure thing.
Now, the next thing is going to find a way to convict him of the murder itself. But he did say he's not going to confess to the murder. So we'll, I guess, stop the video right here. We'll see what happens for the next one. What's going to happen, I don't know. But remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Keep it easy, boys.